Idaho. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Ooh, the gym. My old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, Fly Fishing Guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah. Nah, the kicker's probably taller and in a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end.
Squats. Yeah. Try it sometime.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's 4-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Happy Friday to you, Jay Tust. I am coming from my garage. We're making some history here today. This actually goes back to the very, very beginning of Bronco Nation News when I had no studio, nowhere to go, and I hung up a banner in my garage and did a show called The Tyler Rasa Show back on like day 2 of Bronco Nation News, and we are back again, but as I said, putting our home on the market, dealing with some stuff. I was just happy to be able to sneak into my garage, and a little cold, but we're going to get through the show today. And sorry if there's any audio issues. I don't have my normal mic set up. We'll have it for next week. So, Jay, you may have to carry us as usual today. But how we doing, man?
Good. I guess I'm good to be inside. Like it probably is a little cold in there today. It was snowing earlier today.
There's something called an ozone treatment. I've never heard of that. I don't know what it is, but when you're moving and you use Matt Bauscher and Kelly Ridley and Bauscher Real Estate, you go for the best quality preparation of getting your house on the market as you can. And they're spraying something with a machine where you got to be out of the house for 24 hours. And you actually have to move it from the upstairs to the downstairs after 12 hours. So I held my breath. I moved it downstairs, then snuck into the garage, and we'll see what happens, but we're getting ready to put our home on the market, hopefully sometime next week. And Bauscher Real Estate, Matt Bauscher, Kelly Ridley doing an outstanding job. I can easily see why they're number one in real estate, and hopefully this house is going to sell pretty quick. But yeah, not ideal right now for work and getting the kids on the school bus when we're not able to stay in our home. And now we're in the garage for today's show. But making the best of it. And like I said, I apologize for the audio. Hopefully it sounds good enough at least to get through. Hopefully the Wi-Fi to this point. I mean, I did a show standing outside in the parking lot the other day. Hopefully we can at least make this work in the garage. But so far, so good. And a lot of sports topics to get to, Jay. It's Friday, a closed scrimmage tomorrow. But I wanted to, I got a couple clips to play, but I briefly wanted to hit on the Final Four to start with here. I know it's not Boise State related, but you got the women's Final Four tonight, and I'm super excited to watch it. And I mean, I know the ratings were high for that LSU game, but I got to imagine Paige Beckers and UConn and Gina Auriemma now going up against Caitlin Clark and UConn or in Iowa. I got to imagine the tonight on a Friday night maybe could break that record. I don't know, but NC State, South Carolina, the first game in the women's Final Four. UConn, Iowa, the second game. The men's Final Four we'll get to in a second tomorrow. But as a girl dad, Jay Tust, got to be pretty cool to see the rise in women's college basketball. I don't know if it's going to last past this year. I mean, this is kind of a lightning in a bottle here with what they're getting from Caitlin Clark and stuff. But either way, been pretty cool to see the women's basketball game get what it deserves, and should be a heck of a night tonight for the women's Final Four, which I'm not sure I've ever said before.
Yeah, really quick. They're spraying for the ozone layer. What was that?
There's an ozone machine.
Ozone machine. Did they sell you that before or after the elevator pass in your house?
The Leon Rice. I think it was the same. They took it off the same shelf as the Leon Rice altitude machine. Yeah,
the beet juice. Yeah,
it does something when you have a dog and kids and carpet and just the general smell of your house and just chemicals and things. They just spray something for 24 hours and it's supposed to kind of just give it a fresher feel. I don't know. We'll see.
Man, I got dogs and I got kids. Maybe you send it over here afterwards just in case.
You know what? I'll give you the verdict if it works or not on Wednesday when we put our house on the market, how quickly it sells. But I trust Matt Boucher and Kelly, and I'm assuming it's going to work. So when you work from home and you got to be out of your house for a week, it just kind of is not ideal. But whatever I called it, it's some sort of ozone something machine. I don't know.
Anywho, you're right, man. The Final Four should be pretty sweet tonight. And I think the thing that just stands out is you just got a lot of star power in the women's game right now. And that's a big reason why you've seen the huge ratings. And Caitlin Clark's been so phenomenal. She is almost overshadowed some of the other star power. Like, I mean, LSU won it all last year. And you know, they blew right through LSU at the end, despite returning some, a lot of the talent off that team. So, it should be a fun night. I'll definitely have it on for sure. And then we march on into the weekend with the men's Final Four, which should be great as well. You have NC State, the lone double-digit seed, trying to pull off a miracle here. They've already had an unbelievable run, but they run into Purdue and Zach Edey. So we'll see if they can somehow make it to Monday.
I'm guessing it's going to be two, I don't want to say blowouts, but two, not super close games, but then we'll get the result of that tomorrow. And then on Monday, we'll get a hopefully a great title game with UConn and Purdue, I would assume.
Yeah. I feel like
Bronco 130 says, I bet your garage floors are really nice, though. They actually are, and I don't know if I can show you or not, but rowpaint.com, did a tremendous job with our garage floor. So hopefully that helps the value by $30,000 when we're putting this thing on the market. I don't know.
Let's hope for you. Yeah. But what I was going to say, oh gosh, I lost my train. I picked UConn in my bracket, but Alabama.
Going out on a limb there, Jay. Really going out on a limb. The defending national champs going back to back.
Hey, how often has that happened?
The Florida team, right?
Yeah, like that was 2008 or whatever. Ago. So in a way, like, hey, if you want to use common sense when filling out your March Madness bracket, you're probably going to get burnt, right? So I know it wasn't like the crazy out on a limb pick. I picked UConn though. I still think they get it done. That being said, I think that Alabama is by far the most confident team in the tournament left. They don't. I tweeted this out last week. They don't care if they miss 10 straight shots in a row. They can't wait to take the 11th, and they've proven that time and time again. And they're a team that can certainly get hot with Mark Spears leading them. So anything can happen, but I'm hoping that UConn pushes this thing across the finish line. BJ, it's really funny because I've done okay, not great with my bracket this year. I've done okay with my bracket this year, but I did not fill out the bracket until I was leaving Dayton, Ohio, about to lose cell service, sitting on a plane, and I filled it out in I'm not kidding you, probably 90 seconds. Like I just did it really quick.
On your way to Detroit.
Yep. I just wanted, I'm on my way to Detroit. I just wanted to be a part of, the KTVB fun. We do just a fun little bracket or pool or whatever at work. So I just wanted to make sure that I was a part of it. But I remember when I didn't get a lot of sleep that night. I know you didn't get a lot of sleep that night, but as I'm booking it to Columbus, I luckily got there pretty efficiently or pretty quickly. And I was sitting there on the plane being like, I better fill this out really quick. So I barely got it in. It literally went down to like the final minute. And
sometimes when you're not analyzing each pick, you just make the pick and move on. It ends up being better.
Yeah. There were some stuff I didn't do great in the 12-5 games. I literally picked the opposite, I think, of what happened in all of them. I had a couple of upsets like McNeese over Gonzaga. Didn't work out for me. Got some other ones.
Speaking of which, Leon Rice, a lot of the coaches go to the Final Four, and then next week, right after the championship game, is when you do see a little more roster movement start. We've already seen some players, obviously committing to schools and stuff. Boise State obviously takes a little slower approach to this. I know there's a lot of back channels and things, Jay, but there's a lot of players that are not even in the transfer portal yet that will be. And somehow coaches know this. They talk to other coaches, whatever. So, I mean, there's a chance that, Boise State targets or guys they think or hope are going to enter the portal aren't even in there yet, which, obviously there's still a couple of weeks left to delay all this. But we've obviously talked about this, the Boise State with 3 scholarships available. They've had one player in on a visit. I think I've said it on this show. I heard Cardenas, the point guard at San Jose, has come in for a visit. I know I've heard they're interested in the former Utah State, Raleigh Worcester, however you pronounce his name, guard as well. But no additions yet, Jay. I don't think there's any reason for anybody to panic or anything just yet. Like I said, a lot of players aren't even in the portal yet. But I would suspect once they get through the Final Four and the championship here and get back to next week when the season's officially over, there'll start to be some more movement. And then maybe at some point here, Boise State will go for their first edition.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it seems like, that primary target right now is kind of that distributor, if you will. And that's an area where, I think they struggled to find that at times last year, or at least like with the level of consistency that they wanted. And, I was just looking it up today and, Boise State's never had a player average 5 assists for an entire season in the Leon Rice era. But when they get a guy that gets at least 5 assists in a single game, they've won 78% of their games, BJ, during the Leon Rice era. When they don't have a player hit that mark, it's down near like 54%, right? So you go from a pretty average team to a really elite team if you got that guy. And if you're wondering, like, what's 78%, if you win 78% of your games in a single season, what does that mean? That means you win like 25, 26, 27 games in that given season. So if they can add somebody that can do that for them, that once again pushes a very good returning roster into a title contention, NCAA tournament contender, all of that immediately. Hey, BJ. You forgot to you muted.
I don't have my
Would you give me this moment?
To eliminate the feedback, so I did
Give me this moment. You're on mute, BJ.
There you go, man. So here's what I got working. I got a light on my phone that I'm trying to light up my face here with.
You telling ghost stories?
Huh?
You telling ghost stories?
Yes, I don't have my mic, so I was trying to mute myself so there was no feedback. And then my phone was blocking where I'm showing that I'm muted. So I couldn't tell that I was muted because my phone was covering it. But yes, I will add $1 to the pot for your next check. That now I just get to take one back out every time you're on mute too. So we'll call it even. Jay just wants his moment. Everyone's enjoying this. Yeah. By the way, score one for Jay Tust. All right, guys. Yep. Enjoy it, Jay. Victory lap. By the way, Liam Campbell. Nope, don't see that happening. Logan's asking about that. I would suspect he just follows infield to SMU. I don't know the answer to that, Jay, but I doubt he's an option at Boise State.
Yeah,
I don't know what you think. A lot of times these recruits take their players either way. I would suspect, from what I've heard, probably still just going to follow him to SMU. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how close that was with Boise State to begin with, and so yeah, I don't know about that. But you look at his coach is going to SMU. I got to say, Eric Musselman at USC. If that's the route you want to stay or choose to, I don't think that's a a bad route. But yeah, I don't know if that's going to be something that we see play out here. Plus, that's a position that Boise State really has kind of figured out right now. I think that's a position Boise State kind of has figured out right now.
By the way, Jay, I do have some news for you. As we kind of transition to football here, I want to mention the BNN golf tournament. You have played 2 years in a row with the Atkinson family. Atkinson's Mirror and Glass. They have wanted you to play on their team the last 2 years. We have told other groups, no, you cannot have Jay Tust in your group because he's already sealed, signed, delivered with Atkinson's Mirror and Glass. And when I was in Las Vegas at the Mountain West tournament, I was at Circa Resort and Casino, and I bumped into our good friends at Circa Resort and Casino, the Atkinsons. They were also staying there. Not surprised. Everyone stays at Circa. It's a great spot. You were staying at Circa. But I saw them down on the casino floor one evening, enjoying a beverage, having a good time. Introduced them actually for the second time to my friend Tyler, who works at Circa. He's actually came up and played in the tournament last year, is coming up again this year. And he helped them get a discount on their room or something. And long story short, I cannot confirm or deny that at least one member of the Atkinson clan asked Tyler if he might be interested in playing in their group this year instead of you. And it wasn't initially met by pushback by either side and the rest of the Atkinson clan. So
I'm a free agent?
You may be getting booted. They heard that Tyler was a scratch golfer. And that may have had something to do with it as well.
I'm a scratch golfer. I like to scratch off my scores after every hole.
We'll have there may be a battle for Jay Tust services or to play in the Atkinson group. So you may be available for another group. We'll have to see here. Atkins, love Dakota, Chris, the whole crew over there, but they may be getting on me a little bit now that I made this public. But I heard it with my own eyes. There may have been some asking if they may be done with Jay Tust in their group.
You heard it with your own eyes.
Yes. The ozone machine's getting to me. Yes. Heard it, saw it, the whole thing. Anyway, May 31st. We've only got awesome. 10 foursomes left in the morning. If you want to play in the morning, we only have 10 foursomes left. Don't wait. It's going to sell out. Register now. Presented by RowPaint.com, Idaho Central Credit Union. We got a lot of great sponsors already involved and looking forward to this. BroncoNationNews.com/golf. You can email me, Rains at BroncoNationNews.com. Spencer Danielson's going to be out there. Mike Burns, some of the basketball coaches, some players are going to be out there. Jonah Dalmas is already committed from the football team. Going to be a lot of fun. We hope to see you. Email me. Go check out the website. Don't wait. This thing is going to sell out. We're raising money for a couple charities, one of which is the Idaho Youth Sports Commission. We'll tell you more about the other charities moving forward. But a fun day on the course, raising money for a good cause, having fun. You get some free swag golf, and it's a fun day. So hope to see all of you guys out at Timberstone Golf Course. And again, Timberstone Golf Course out there in Caldwell. Jay, a new company that is sponsoring the tournament. They've bought their hook and ladder sponsorship. They are in, is our friend Garrett Collingham and Capital Paving. So shout out to Garrett Collingham and Capital Paving. We appreciate them for jumping in as well. Thomas Spurbeck has already purchased a foursome, so some former players jumping in. Going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. Okay, speaking of football, Jay, I do want to switch. There are some football topics. We got some fans a little banty unhappy with the early story that came out about the north end zone yesterday from Don Day. I know there is a press conference scheduled for the next week or so to make that a public official, for everybody. Good to Don to get some records requests and get that story early, but there will be more details on that coming out, I think, in the next week to 10 days. But we can briefly touch on that if folks want to. It sounds like some folks are unhappy with that and the lack of seating. But a couple storylines from yesterday as well. I was very impressed with CJ Tiller and what I instantly moved CJ Tiller. I gave him a higher percentage to start Jay Tust just based solely on what I saw in practice yesterday and then his interview. And it may have only gone up 1% higher, but I think maybe he's being a little more overlooked. And I want to discuss that here in a second. But first, quick 90-second timeout. Thank a few of our sponsors. We'll talk Boise State spring football next here on Bronco Nation News. All Bronco Nation News broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of premix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com for all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs. Check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. All right, Jay, Don Day. We've both worked with Don in the past. We do some collaboration on some stuff. So he does a really good job getting those FOIA requests and getting some things uncovered a little early. I know it's coming out next week. I don't know if you had a chance to check out the photos or the story or if you had a thought or not, but your thought on the North End Zone project, if you'd like to touch on it.
I don't know if I do know what you said, that in a little over a week or so that we're going to get a lot more information on it. Haven't necessarily seen the renderings, what are out right now, but I do know that we're getting there. It's going to become a little bit more transparent here in the very near future.
I know. I guess one of the things is the overall stadium capacity is coming down because they are making more premium seating. When you take out all those bleachers in the North End Zone and replace them with some more comfier seating, more lounge seating, more suites, that does take the capacity down. So folks are wanting it to go. What's that?
That happens though, like when you do stuff like this, right?
I think fans were hoping the capacity would go up and not come down. Overall.
I don't know. I think maybe we get too caught into that. The whole goal is to sell that thing out, and if it means losing a few hundred seats, or is there a number of seats that's out that they're losing?
Yeah, I think it comes down. I want to say 1,500 seats or 2,000 seats. It comes down a decent amount, but they are projecting an increase in $4 to $5 million in revenue annually because of the new suites and things. So it's less seats, but more expensive seats, and that raises more money. They also will change, they said, to keep the cheaper, the North End Zone used to be the cheapest ticket in the stadium. They're going to go to the upper, some of the corners and some of the other areas and still try to find that cheaper price point, I guess, in the future for folks in a different part of the stadium. They did in terms of, that's the kind of first plan they're hoping to get going. They did show some photos and things of potentially the greater kind of 5-10-year plan, Jay, which shows one photo, another level of seating above the east side seats, like a third deck almost. The new athletic department offices there in the South End Zone. That thing looked a whole lot different. So there's some bigger goals as well, but in the short term, bringing down the capacity a little bit, but adding in some more premium seats. I think there's 12 field suites. There's some other seating, some seating, and so the capacity is coming down, but the university and the athletic department in particular is going to make more money. I just don't view this as a bad thing. In all honesty, my alma mater has done stuff like this in the past where they drop capacity and they add premium seating, which allows, the school to generate more revenue because they can sell some seats at a premium cost. On top of that, we all know about supply and demand, right? So if the supply goes down, demand can potentially go up. And that means it's going to be harder to get a Boise State ticket, which could also, at the same time, potentially raise the cost of even average seats at Albertson Stadium. But I don't think that's a bad idea. Like, heck, I don't think that'd be a bad idea if they somehow pulled that off over at Extra Mile Arena too. Drop that thing 2,000 tickets, or 2,000 seats, yes. Add premium seating. I mean, that'd probably be the way to go over there as well. But they got to get more premium seating. I mean, that's just something you see really, whether it be professional, collegiate, any venue these days. Like, premium seating is something that you need, because there are
a number of people that go to a college football game that want to make sure that they are either warm or comfortable or accommodated to. So that's just kind of the way that it is.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a
I will
training
say,
table involved in there and some other things for the other student athletes at Boise State underneath the seating. There's going to be some areas in there to help with providing meals and things for the other sports, not just football. So there's some other benefits to this as well. But yeah, kudos. You can go read boisedev.com. Kudos Don Day for getting the early story, and he talked to Cody and Jeremiah for it. So nice work there. And I believe next week or in the near future there will be a press conference to kind of give more details for the rest of us, and some more questions can be asked. And yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But there's some. So I know bigger picture goals, and some of those photos were in there, and I'm looking forward to hearing some of that. But overall, yeah, seating capacity coming down. Premium seating going up, revenue going up, but it did say in there, and they did stress that there will be some part of the stadium, I think maybe in the corners of the other end zone, where they will try to keep that family zone and keep some tickets affordable. Season ticket, by the way, renewals, there's 10 days left, I think I saw for this year's, and there's 8,000 tickets, I believe, where the price is actually lower than it was last year. So they're trying to spin that a little bit, that there's some cheaper tickets, some affordable options this year, which, let's be honest, it's a pretty good home schedule this year as well. But if you are a season ticket holder, I think you only have like 9 or 10 days left to renew. And they're pushing the 6 games, 6 sellouts. I know it hasn't happened every game, Jay, but they have increased the attendance. They've done some things here with Jeremiah Dickey taking over. So I agree on the basketball side. You'd rather have it be a 8,000 or 9,000 seat arena where it's sold out every game, and maybe the tickets are a little more expensive and it's a little tougher ticket. Football, I guess that's kind of the direction they're going, at least right now. We'll see, but they've been doing pretty good, and maybe not the season ticket sales are where they want to be, but the single game attendance, they've been getting pretty close, to selling out pretty much every game the last couple of years.
Yeah, they put a lot of effort. They've been very intentional in how they've approached that, and it seems like it's going in a good direction. It seems like it's is good or near as good as it's ever been. So, yeah. As you said, kudos to them for getting that done. But just excited to see this project move forward, man, because I feel like we've been talking about, upgrades to Albertson Stadium for a very, very long time now. And you and I both know from traveling around this league, whether you go to Colorado State, San Diego State, some of these places that have newer venues, they are, you gotta be able to keep up. And those venues are significantly better in terms of how you can consume a college football game than what Albertson Stadium has to offer. I mean, I don't think that's a bold statement. If you want to watch a team win, yeah, go show up and watch the team on the blue. That's a separate argument. But if you want to talk about just going into a venue and being able to get a drink, or being able to order food while you can still watch the football game by simply turning around, get back to your seat quicker, your seat's more comfortable, any of this stuff. There are schools out there in the Mountain West that have it better than Boise State right now, and Boise State's doing what they can to try to counter and keep up, I would say.
And I think one of the things, and I want to move on, but one of the things they mentioned was the concourse being connected, from the east side to the west side by this north end zone project to make it a little easier for traffic flow and things like that. And again, don't forget, I mean, when was this stadium? I mean, this stadium's the base core of this stadium has just been added to, but a lot of these concourses and things are the same as they were 50, 60 years ago, or whatever it is. So the restrooms, a lot of that stuff really does, concession stands do need a lot of work, and we'll see if that's part of this project as well. Bronco Ray, I'm not sure if you're being facetious or serious. I'm wrong pretty much daily, but appreciate the nice comment there. All right, let's talk about the current team though, Jay, because CJ Tiller, let's start there, because I don't know if we're going to get to the other two, and I want to make sure we get to CJ here. I was very impressed with I talked briefly after the bowl game, I believe, but hadn't really had an in-depth conversation with him, and maybe you had, but as a freshman last year, and just I don't remember him being available very much to the media, if at all. And he came out, and it was you and me and a couple of small group that talked to him, and I was very impressed. I thought he said all the right things. I was very impressed with his how honest he was about how bad the last game went against UCLA, how much it's motivated, how much better place he's been in. I have a short clip I'll play in a second here of a question you asked to him, but just your general thoughts of CJ Tiller what you heard yesterday and our conversation with him.
I remember an interview I did with CJ before he arrived on campus, and we were just kind of going over through a generic, normal kind of interview, right, BJ? And at one point, I just kind of stopped down, and he handles himself so well. Like, he presents himself so well, and you almost forget. Like, at that point in time that I was doing that interview, he's a senior in high school. Now he's only been on campus for a year, and technically, this is still his true freshman year. It's just the spring of it, right? And he said that his dad, kind of really emphasized how he presents himself and stuff when he was younger. And man, I think you can see that the payoff is there. I get why, his teammates and his coaching staff would look at him as a leader. Like, he was transparent, he was honest, he was candid. He didn't speak like again, his whole presentation throughout the whole thing was not like he was a true freshman, man. And I was very impressed with his interview, and I get why he not only put himself in the discussion last year, but is now in the discussion again this year to push and try to be QB1 for this football team. Now, he currently is technically, I guess you could say, QB1, BJ. I mean, he's the guy that's taking most of the QB1 reps at practice right now. And that's something that, whether it be him or the coaching staff has told us would be the case. I can't remember if it was Dirk Cutter or if it was Spencer Danielson that said it prior to the start of spring ball, but they did mention that. And so, again, it's circumstances. You got a new guy coming in Malachi Nelson. You got your veteran in Maddox Matson, who's working his way back from an injury. And, CJ's just kind of in this perfect spot right now where he's healthy. He has a little bit of experience. And right now he's taking majority of the QB1 reps. So it's going to be up to him to try to stay there. But man, I'm right there with you, dude. Like, he was very impressive yesterday. Buddy, you're on mute, and I'm not even trying to say it like in a jerky tone this time. Third? I'm so sorry. What?
Is he third? Yes, I was on mute. Move on.
By the time, but you
say he's first. Yes,
yeah.
Right now he's first, but I'm wondering if he's actually third.
Yeah. I don't want to. It's spring ball, everybody. Like, these are complete guesses. It's really hard to, see what's going on out there and try to project it. If it's me, I still think Maddox Matson right now is your insider to start. I could be very wrong on that. I just kind of feel that way right now. And then after that, I just think Malachi and CJ are neck and neck. I do. We're so far away from the season. Malachi just got here. It's unfair to probably put him in any type of pecking order right now because he's learning so much. But that's just the way that I would see it if they had to play a game this weekend. Take that back. If they had to play a game this weekend, it's probably CJ because Maddox is still working his way back from injury.
And I agree.
Yeah.
But I want to hear from CJ Tiller in just a second, but I got to make sure I thank our friends at Lithia Ford of Boise. Check them out, lithiafordboise.com. They're sponsoring the hole-in-one contest at the golf tournament coming up. You can win a free Bronco Sport with a hole-in-one thanks to Lithia Ford of Boise. And again, they have 5 NIL deals, 5 Boise State vehicles, or athletes are driving their vehicles, including 3 football players. So make sure you check them out. Return the favor at lithiafordboise.com. You need a job? How about the trucking industry? Transportation Compliance Service is hiring. Check them out. They'll help you every step of the way to get you out there towing that load on the open road in no time. And again, all the permits and things you need to become a truck driver, let them help you out. Let the professionals do it. Get more information, transcompservice.com. The Blue and Orange Store, you need some Boise State gear for the spring game. They have chopped the price of the Chibuzo Abo NIL shirts in half. $15, I think it is. If you want to get some of the NIL shirts and stuff, blueandorangestore.com, free shipping, any order over $40, or you can just go into the Boise Town Square Mall, second floor next to Pro Image. And again, shirts, jerseys, caps, you name it. They got it all at the Blue and Orange Store. Taco Bell, go check out Taco Bell. Perfect. I might have to get Taco Bell for lunch today, Jay. Can't cook here, can't be in the house. And it's right up the street. May have to do that today. TacoBellWorks.com. They're hiring. If you need a job, check them out. TacoBellWorks.com. They'll give you free food and half your wages the very next day after your shift. What's better than that? Check them out. get more information, and you can find out what they're doing in terms of their donations to Boise State and stuff at TacoBellWorks.com. Bronco Brew Coffee as well, BroncoBrew.coffee to be exact. Check them out, BroncoBrew.coffee. Delicious, fresh, roasted order coffee in many instances at your doorstep in 24 hours or less in the Treasure Valley. So check them out, BroncoBrew.coffee, and our friends at Lean Feast, LeanFeastMeridian.com. We're having to live out of a refrigerator, so to speak, out of a car, and so this week we're having a lot of Lean Feast meals. You put them in the microwave for 2 minutes, and they're good to go. So we highly recommend LeanFeastMeridian.com. Fresh, made-to-order meals, 2 minutes in the microwave. You're eating steak, shrimp, fish, all that good stuff. So check them out at LeanFeastMeridian.com. All right, Jay, let's hear from CJ Tiller. You asked him, we both kind of talked to him about the whirlwind last year, what it was like, that first bowl game, finding out he was the starter. And he starts with the injury to Maddox Madsen late in the season, which kind of opened the door for him at this point.
Yeah. When Maddox went down over there on the field, we got into halftime. It was not too long ago. Cole Fulton comes up to me. He's like, you know that you're number 2 now, and that if TJ goes down or something happens, you're in. And I was like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So I was like, okay, cool. And then, I'm not going to lie. I knew TJ was going to leave. Me and him had that talk, and we knew that something was going to happen. And he told me just to take these number 2 reps for the next 2 weeks before he makes his decision to stay or not, to take those mental reps and be able to be ready for the bowl game if my opportunity came. And it did. So.
What was it like when you were named the starter? Was that
a
big moment?
Yeah, it was definitely I try to stay level-headed as I can. My parents always taught me to just be even Steven the whole way, but my dad was freaking out. He was just, you're started, oh my god, I gotta tell my dad. I was like, okay, let's go, and then it's just all the outside noise. My brother, I have 12 siblings, so I got all of them calling me and telling me that congratulations, all this stuff, and I still got to get ready for a game plan, and everybody knows what happens on bowl week. You get so many distractions, so all that was just spiraling in my head. But honestly, it was a blessing, something I'm always going to look back on and just remember every moment of that bowl week and the bowl game.
So you look at the competition now. Everyone really talks about Malachi and Maddox, and you're kind of the forgotten guy. How do you kind of look at where you fit into this?
Yeah, that's been my whole life. I never really got the attention, and I don't really care for the attention. So you don't have to bring me up. You don't have to say anything. That's fine with me. Just a silent killer, and that's just how my dad raised me. So competition's competition, no matter where you go in the country. So I got to compete and play at a high level, and I know what's at stakes, and I know what I got to do to be able to be the starter here at Boise.
I really do believe that, Jay, myself included. Everyone's watching number 7 and wanting to see Malachi throw, and where's Maddox Madsen and his rehab and all this? And I think unfairly or not, the one game film we have of CJ Tiller wasn't that good. So I think that's maybe you saw him in that game and you're like, oh, he's not ready, and he wasn't. He was a true freshman playing against a top 10 defense, and I think missed with a lot of throws, but I think there was a lot that went into that. And I think that whether or not he's going to be the starter or not, I don't know. But I do think that he was kind of pushed to the side after that game. And then when Malachi came in, probably a little bit prematurely.
I think you're right. Last night when I was talking about the story on the newscast, I was trying to figure out a way to phrase this, because in college football, you can play in 4 games and still maintain your red shirt, right? But, for a majority of this season, in really 13 games, CJ Tiller was redshirting. And then all of a sudden it got to the very final game of the season and it was like, boom, you're starting, And so we go back a couple of years, this would be impossible otherwise, or without losing an entire year of eligibility. And so that's why it was basically impossible, because nobody would sacrifice a year of eligibility over playing in, one game, right? And so he went from redshirting for most of the season to all of a sudden having to be the starter. And you're right. The LA Bowl didn't go well for him. He said as much, he said he felt like he let his teammates down and things like that. It's not the case, because he was put in a difficult situation. I think one thing that we need to stop and remind ourselves at times, is that there is a developmental process here, man. And it takes patience, not only from the fans, but the players, parents, everybody. And like I said, CJ Tiller has still barely been on a college campus for a year now. And that was with him enrolling early. And so be a little patient as he tries to compete for, a spot on the depth chart right now. And in all honesty, it could be this year, it could be 2 years, but in 2 years, he's only going to be going into, his redshirt junior season, which is typically when you probably would take over as the starting quarterback at a school like Boise State. I know recent history would suggest otherwise, but that's just because they've had a tough time ever since Brett Rippon left, really, having a quarterback finish his career from start to finish at Boise State and work into his career as a Bronco as an upperclassman. And so it's got a little off schedule, I would say, as of late, but just have a little patience with the dude. And again, that applies to a lot of people, including the player, parents, coaches, and fan base for that matter. Don't get unrealistic expectations.
The other 2 video clips I had, Jay, I'm going to save till our Tuesday episode because we're short on time. But we're going to talk about the right tackle battle with Tim Keene and a little bit with Austin Bolt on the wide receivers. But since we don't have any interviews and I've got 2 shows Monday and Tuesday, I'll save those. But I did want to finish on one thought on the tight ends. And Matt Lauter, I know, is a guy that's played well. I've been very impressed with a number of the tight ends. Mr. Wagner, number 88, has been really impressive to me. Matt Lauter has really come on and made some nice plays. I mean, even Luke Voorhees had a nice catch and run yesterday.
Yeah,
I mean,
Luke Voorhees.
I know I missed it Saturday. I was doing kids at a baseball game. I know Matt Lauter talked on Saturday, and I wasn't able to get there for that. But obviously the tight ends, a big, for 25 years here, whatever, a big topic at Boise State. And it seems like Matt Lauter is a guy that now with Riley Smith moving on, ready to ascend to tight end 1 and be an impactful player on this offense. But it does sound like it does appear, at least to me, that there's some other capable guys behind him as well.
This is one of the topics that comes up every single fall camp, BJ, and I hate it. When are they going to get the tight ends more involved? When are they going to get more catches? The tight end position at Boise State means so much more than just catches. So if that's all you're valuing that off of, you're devaluing the position because they do so much more for this team. That being said, I really might lean into it this year, man. And it drives me crazy, but seeing Matt Lauter right now, the way that he is practicing, and I know that he's got to take it to a game, but I feel confident he's going to transition just fine. You were there. I hate overhyping things, but Matt Lauter looks like the real deal right now at practice. He looks really, really good. And when I spoke with him on Saturday, kind of one of those moments, BJ, where you're making your way through an interview and you just kind of let the reality of the moment kind of set in. And I just said, Matt, man, like you just seem like you're another level of comfort. Like you're so comfortable right now. Like, how confident are you and things like this? And he was just like, I'm like really confident right now. Like I know what I'm doing. I know how to get better. I know how to help this offense. And I think he sees, Dirk Cutters as offensive coordinator. You look at what Dirk did with some of the, tight ends in the NFL. I really do expect big things from Matt Lauter. And I hate to overhype things, especially the tight end position, because everybody's going to want to know if he's going to get 40 catches or something crazy this year. But Matt is very, very good. He's making contested catches, highlight reel catches. But I think the biggest thing for me, BJ, is he's also showing that he can be an explosive tight end. It's not run a 5-yard hitch, catch it between 2 linebackers and get taken down. It's, he's finding a way to get in space and then get yak yards after the catch, which I think is huge.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm tight ends every year, Jay, is that position, as you said. And I've been here 11 years. You've been here longer than me. And I can go back so many years and just from the Jake Rose of the world. And every year, the tight ends only had 14 catches this year and all this. But in Dirk Cutter's offense, it seems like the tight ends, and again, we're going to talk next week about the wide receiver room. So, it's not like they have unlimited amounts of balls to go around. Matt Lauter had a heck of a touchdown catch. I mentioned, is it Matt Wagner, I believe, who was committed to Louisiana Tech, changed it to Boise State, number 88, has had a really impressive spring for me. He's one of my 5 kind of breakout guys for me where I wasn't really paying attention much to. And now when he's out there, I'm like, oh, there's 88 again. And so you mentioned Voorhees, some of the other guys. I know I'm forgetting at least one more. I think the tight ends is a very interesting position here moving forward. And And I think that's, one that we'll have to continue to watch. And yeah, Matt Lauter, he takes over the NIL deal at Lithia Ford from kind of takes over that everything that comes with being tight end one here from Riley Smith. And looks like he's got a chance to be a player here, man. And how many years does he have left?
Oh, at least 2. Yeah,
okay.
I believe. Yeah, he would be going into his junior year.
Is he a redshirt junior right now?
Real quick. I saw your guy Jim yesterday. I ran into him.
Okay.
And I was joking with him. It was right after practice, and I was joking with him. I was like, when I saw the guys that you were giving cars to this year, I was like, yeah, a lot of these make sense. But I was like, Matt Lauter. I was like, oh, okay, like I don't know if I really expected him. And I was like, good choice, because Matt looks flat out dominant right now at practice. So that was pretty comical. But I do think, and real quick, you bring it up, like when it comes to this team needs to be more dynamic after the catch this year. I think that's an area where Boise State needs to grow offensively, and that doesn't mean like if you throw it to a tight end, like they have to be dynamic after a catch too. Otherwise, throw it to your wide receivers because they have a better chance of making guys miss, right? Matt Lauter is now one of those guys that can be dynamic after the catch. It's not like you're just going to throw it to him and the play ends there. Really, really excited to see his development moving forward. And yeah, a couple years left for him and Matt Wagner too. Like, let's not forget, as a true freshman tight end, he worked himself into the mix at the end of the year last year. Yes, there were some injuries and things like that. I get it. But still, like that is a very rare situation where a true freshman at that position can find any time on the field in an actual game.
By the way, David, referencing Lithia Ford in that commercial, says, "Oh, tight end, the secret is squats." So yes, there you go, David. Jay, what do we got? I know we got a lot of sound, probably some packages, some highlights. What do we got coming up this weekend, tonight, rest of the weekend on KTVB?
I wish I could tell you that. I wish I could promise, baseball and softball highlights, but that plan has just been derailed as of late. Thank goodness the Boise State softball team is out on the road, and we're certainly going to be tracking them this weekend because kind of a big 2-game series down at San Diego State. They split with UNLV at home on Wednesday. Let game 2 just kind of get away from them. Had some opportunities to go for the sweep there, couldn't finish it off, but we'll see if they can get it done. You look at Taylor Cottle leading the Mountain West in wins this year. She leads the league in strikeouts this year. Sydney Groves, the pride of Eagle High School, leads the league in home runs with 15. So they have a big 2-game set coming up this weekend. Begins today, ends tomorrow with San Diego State. And if they want, BJ, top 6 teams go to the Mountain West tournament. Top 2 get buys at the Mountain West tournament. If they want to continue to make sure that they get to play in the tournament they host, it would be beneficial to have a good weekend against San Diego State. And I would say by going down and at least trying to win one of those things, and 2 would be a luxury, but got to go get 1.
No doubt. Jay, appreciate you. It looks like he might have had his computer die. What a way. Jay's battery. I heard the sound and then it went away. So Jay's computer is done. You can see I'm in my basement or my garage right here as we're getting our house ready to sell. So thank you to Cutwater Spirits, our studio sponsor. Thank you to rowpaint.com, our title sponsor. Thank you to Idaho Central Credit Union. They are our Friday sponsor. All of our sponsors, we appreciate them. Again, sign up for the golf tournament if you can. We only have 10 foursomes left in the morning. We also have the afternoon available as well. It's going to sell out. Don't wait. BroncoNationNews.com/golf. We're going to do an event the evening before. More details to come on that as well. But sign up for the golf tournament. Go subscribe to the website. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live, Bronco Nation News.